congratulations, you made it through all 6 lessons for sentence diagramming. And so you are now an expert. So go ahead and put your name at the top of the paper. Expert. And you are ready for some review. Now, we know that it's best practice to start by labeling the part of speech for every word in the sentence, because then you're just making your little puzzles, okay? The diagrams. So go ahead and label each part of speech as you have done in the previous 6 lessons. And that will give you a great start to get going on your diagrams. My son is recording for me and he said, "Mom, your videos are too long. Speed them up." Okay, number 1, large tractors usually move slowly. Or what is our sentence about? Tractors on the left side. Tractors, what are they doing? They are moving. What kind of tractors do we have here? We have large tractors, our adjective. We also have a couple more adverbs to add. Usually and slowly tell you how the tractors are moving. Number 2, can cats and dogs run and jump? Of course they can. So we start with our subject, or what's the sentence about? Cats. We have a compound subject, dogs, glued together by our little conjunction from the junction, cats and dogs. We do have a helper in this sentence, can, run, jump. We have a compound verb as well. And a little glue again. Sideways writing is not my strength. Run and jump. Number 3, I finally gave Max a new puzzle. You guys might be doing some puzzles on these days at home. I hope you are. They're fun. I is what our sentence is about, the subject. What did I do? I gave. This is also modifying. We have a direct object here. Gave who? Gave Max. What'd you give him? I gave him a puzzle. What kind of puzzle? A new puzzle. Number 4, the delicate flower will bloom beautifully. Or what's the sentence about? It's about the flower. What is the flower doing? It will bloom. How's it gonna bloom? It blooms beautifully. Oh, I forgot the flower part. What kind of flower? Well, the delicate flower. All these below the line of the diagram. Your adverbs and your adjectives. All right, number 5. Athletic Maria plays YMCA soccer. Go ahead and pause the video at this time. Finish these 3 sentences on your own, and then restart it to see the answers and see if you are on the right track. There you go. This page actually looks like Christmas. Athletic Maria plays YMCA soccer. Jimmy quickly threw Michael the orange frisbee. And the mailman will bring me a package tomorrow. Okay, 7th graders, we're gonna do one more page today. And this is really just taking a backwards look at it to see that we understand that these little pieces, these little building blocks, create our sentences. And if we are all following the same set of rules, we're on an even playing field. So you've noticed by now that your packet has all of the worksheets, but it also has the answer keys. So I want you to go forward and find page 15, where it actually says answer key with the diagrams there. What did I say?
50.
Oh, 55. I have a videographer who's giving me cues. It's really fun to record yourself at home. Not. Okay. So on this page, what I'd like you to do is practice actually labeling the part of speech on the diagram. It's the backwards of what we've been doing. So if we go through our first sentence, she had slammed the front door loudly, we would label our pieces over here this time. So pronoun, she, helper, verb, had slammed, adverb, loudly. The door was the noun, the direct object. The front, both telling you adjective, what kind of door? The front door. and article, an adjective serving, or an article serving as adjective. Okay, so go ahead and keep going through these to label each part of speech, and then come back to check your work. Okay, so this brings you to the end. So now what? Okay, sentences that you are not familiar with are going to be coming your way, and recognizing which diagram to use when is really important. So yes, you could go and look at the answer key where all 8 of them are set up, but help yourself. Slide this aside and look at each diagram and think about, if I was building a sentence, what would I need in order to fill in this diagram? Okay, so when we started at the very, very beginning, we knew this was the sentence. We could divide subject and verb. So subject, we might have a helper, and then we'd have a verb. Then we thought, okay, well, what if it gets a little bit more complicated? All right, what if there are 2 people? We can have subject 1 and subject 2. When we say Landon and Griffin are doing something. Again, you can have a helping verb, and then you can have a verb. Okay, now what if this happens differently, where one subject, if I have one subject, here's Emma, and she's going to do something. Well, actually, she's going to do 2 things. She's going to, I don't know, paint, and she's going to run. So the conjunction, we'll keep those together. I should label this conjunction. Again, you can have a helping verb in there. So knowing if I have one subject or 2 subjects is step 1. Then I should say, do I have 2 verbs? Because I could look like something over here. So if I would say these 2, subjects and subjects, so I've got Adam and Will, and they actually do 2 things. They actually hunt and they fish. I'm going to need a diagram that's going to look like this. 2 subjects with 2 verbs. Of course, I need some glue to hold them together, conjunctions. And I can definitely use helping verbs like will be, can be, would be, should be, things like that. So 2 subjects, 2 verbs. What might I use a sentence like this, a diagram like this for? It looks like this one, but it only adds one thing. So I definitely have a subject, a helping verb, and a verb again, but something modifies that subject, something describes that object. So I will throw in an adjective, a describing word. Long time ago when I was teaching 3rd grade, I came in all dressed up with a feather boa and a wig, any word that you could think of to describe. Fluffy, purple, several, just anything that'll give more detail and vivid description in your sentences and your writing are good for you. Okay, so describe as much as you can. This sentence looks a lot like this one, except instead of modifying the subject over here, we're going to modify the verb. Okay, we can have a helper, we can have a verb, but we might need an adverb. So how is she running? She was running slowly. And I could have 2 subjects over here if I needed to as well. All right, last but not least, the funny ones that end up with the direct and the indirect object. Our subject is always going to be on the side. So what makes these 2 diagrams different? Okay, you can still do helping verb, verb. You can still do helping verb, verb. But this one will be applied directly to your DO, your direct object. I hit him in the face, okay? And the last one, you'd have your direct object, but you would also, this time, use an indirect object. So this should help you, like just testing yourself, like when do I use what kind of diagram? Because we do have brand new sentences coming your way as a test. This is the guide for how to build them. You can do this, you're an expert, and the resources are at your fingertips. And if you want to make sentence diagramming more fun, use Flair pens.